Good morning. So ahead of this morning's session, 9th of September with NASDAQ, I am doing CFDs. I'm going to do a quick markup of my charts to see exactly where we're at. As you can see, I've completely cleaned them up because, it's better for me to kind of look with a fresh look, so to speak, because I had a lot of lines on there over the last few weeks that I hadn't kind of refreshed. And I like to do this maybe, particularly at the beginning, in the beginning of the month as such, just to reaffirm where price is at the moment and where I think it's going to from a narrative perspective. So I'm actually going to start off with, let's just go to the week. We've got all sorts of things going on here. As you can see, I was back testing. But from the weekly look, the key thing that I wanted to kind of look at was this imbalance here. Let me change the color. And the reason being is because of this high that goes right through it. So I'm just going to use this high here, this high that goes through that imbalance. I believe that if we've reached the high and we're about to turn, this is where we're coming to actually rebalance this imbalance here, so to speak. And as you can see, it's at a 22,257 level as such. So that's like the long-term narrative. If I drop down to the daily now, let's have a look what we have got going on the day. And this is where, even down to like the quarters, you can kind of start to map out where we're at. Here we've got this high, and this is August high, so that's the previous month's high. It's just, oh god, it's a little thick. So we just do previous month's high. I'm just going to put August. All right. We can also see this low here, which is the previous month's low. Okay, and as we know, this is our weekly value gap. All right. So I am looking at price coming down here. Obviously not today, but eventually that's my kind of longer term narrative as such, if we look at that as a whole. All right, now if we go back to our hourly, let's have a look what's happened over the last kind of 2 weeks I'll just give it, yeah, essentially a 2-week look back. As such, so this is our previous month's high. This is our high sell model, buy model. You can see we've broken through several things here. Let's just have a look at this last week's Friday's SIBI. Let's mark that up. I'll extend that to Friday because that's still important. Okay, so we're just above that SIBI at the minute. This was Monday, so we should really mark our previous day's high. As much as there's indicators that can do this, it's good to do it manually because it kind of just imprints it in your head. There we go. It's our previous day high. And where's our previous day low? Well, it was Sunday. Let's call this our previous day low. It's midnight. There we go. And as you can see, we also have an imbalance in here, which is to note, and this was our weekly open. Okay. So now what I am going to do is, what am I anticipating for today? We'll either find support here and continue higher, or we're going to start going down lower because that is our previous day's high. I don't think it's taken it by a pip yet, but that's okay. We might manipulate down to here before going up there, or we could just continue down, because if you look, you can see all of these lows here, sell side liquidity for the taking, and this could be engineering liquidity to come back and take this liquidity later. Okay, so I haven't really touched on SMT at this point, to be fair, but I will do so in a moment. Let's just drop down to our, before that I'm going to see where we are in our dealing range, and I'm going to switch on my partition plot here. Because I'm on the hourly, I am going to use the daily open for today, which would have been, well, midnight price, Monday midnight. This is Monday midnight, which was 23,809. So I'm just going to go in here, 23,809. Now this is plotting for me, it didn't move, which is fine. This is plotting for me where we are in the dealing range to a power of 243. Yeah, it was something that I made earlier this year actually. I created this indicator and I started trying to use it, back testing, but I figured I was overcomplicating things. I wanted to keep it simple, and to be honest, I just didn't really know what I was doing. But as you can see from here, we see price does react around certain levels. So here we've got our SMR, which was at the range low. First partition, here's the equilibrium, first partition above, and so forth. Yeah. Also first partition and the next partition above. I've got lines all the same color, so that's probably not helping me. But as you can see now, we are at this partition here. It looks like we're not making it to range high, and we could be heading down to this, you know, this baseline here, which is around the 23, just below 23,600. Yeah. And as you can see, we've got sell side liquidity down here, or let's say this liquidity down here. So let's see what we do if we drop to a lower time frame. So my base, I'm looking at this line here. So if we drop down to our 1 minute, now because I'm on the 1 minute, I'm actually now going to do it again, but this time I am going to use a 27 pip dealing range. And you know, I like to use the current, you should either use the current price. I'd like to try and use the 9:30 open, but as I'm here now already at 9:23, I'm going to use 23,792 for the dealing range. I don't know, 23,792, and there we have it. So here we are at equilibrium. We've bounced around up and down up till now. We're getting to, this is our range. I believe we're looking for lower prices. So I'm going to put my dealing range in. Of the dealing range is in. So this looks like, is it an SMR? No. Are we going to bounce off and continue up higher? We're at equilibrium. We're at a key price level, which is 23,800. So that could be it. I would need to see this turn into an inverted fair value gap, if that was the case. Because if I do this, let me just change this color so I know where I am. Let's go blue for today. Then we can see I'm actually also going to switch off these time cycles because they're kind of well, they're not bad, but it's just getting a little bit too crowded. So this is where we are. We've got our range low, range high. This is 27 pips between each one. This is 27 above, so that's just extending it by 1, and this is extending it below by 1. So I generally look to, if I was entering here, I'd put my stop loss up here, and if I was entering here, I'd put my stop loss down here. So here we are, we're approaching 9:30. And the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to put in my 9:45 macro window. So it could be like the SMR has taken place. You know, let's see, before 9:45. Let's see what happens at 9:30. Let's do 10:15. And I'm also going to do 10 o'clock. Only because I don't have the time cycles on there, just so I can know exactly where things are. It's a bit annoying having these marks here, but it helps you know where you are, and I guess it will move along with it as a whole. So yeah, if you're interested in it, then let me know, and I can maybe help you out there. Thanks for watching. In the next video, I'll go through. It'd be great if you can like, subscribe, and let me know what you think.